Generally speaking,
is
COVID
Antigua
is
breaking
taking
news.
lives. COVID is killing people, men, women, and children. But specifically men's issues, we have issues with COVID and men's sexual health.
This is Antigua breaking
COVID affects
news.
men's erectile function. COVID is thought to affect a man's ability to have children. And as you mentioned about this case
This
with
is
Nicki
Antigua breaking news.
Minaj, that's another issue which has come up. By and large, what is found worldwide, we look at statistics, it is thought that COVID
This
kills
is
more
Antigua
men
breaking news.
than women, and more men go to ICU than women generally around the world. Larger countries, they tend to see a bit more men.
This
We're
is
not sure
Antigua
why, that's just
breaking
how
news.
statistics goes. And with that, there's actually, they say that the male gender is a risk factor for getting severe COVID and ICU,
This
become
is Antigua
admitted in the
breaking news.
ICU and for death in some centers. Not sure why. It was postulated from their evidence that, they looked at men were more likely to be out. Men, when they questioned,
This
when they
is
did the
Antigua
questionnaires,
breaking news.
women were more likely to take the impact of COVID seriously. Women thought that COVID was more of a threat to themselves, whereas men were probably a bit more cavalier, as we sometimes are. So these are things which are postulated to
This is Antigua breaking
be the
news.
reasons why. In any medical issue, we look at confounders. Is it that more women came to get tested in Antigua? Do we
This
have
is
a
Antigua
population
breaking
where there's
news.
more women than men like we have here? These are all things that you do look at. So symptomatology has been the same as women, in the sense that it is a respiratory illness,
This
which
is Antigua
which
breaking
means that the
news.
problems patients are coming in with, or men are coming in with, are shortness of breath, low oxygenation, fevers, headaches, dizziness. Some people are coming in with abdominal pain and diarrhea. Those are what
This
we're
is
seeing.
Antigua breaking news.
The other issues specific to men, like the impotence, the erectile dysfunction, the fertility issues, are not something that we're seeing acutely, and fortunately
This
or
is
unfortunately, they're not
Antigua breaking
emergencies.
news.
At the moment, I can't say that I'm seeing patients coming in for that, but internationally, it is a very, very hot topic. So at the moment,
is
we don't
Antigua
have
breaking
our
news.
urology clinics functioning. Impotence is not high on the list of problems, fortunately or unfortunately, that we see. So at the moment, it may be people at home
This is
questioning
Antigua
it, questioning
breaking
it,
news.
wondering, look, something is not right, but have not been coming out, that we can say, look, we are counting the numbers. With time, we will know, and there's a lot to
This
talk
is
about
Antigua
regarding
breaking
that.
news.
But let's see where it goes. So we get a lot of media, just like the Nicki Minaj issue. In Jamaica, there was a
This
gentleman
is
that came out and
Antigua
said he got
breaking
COVID
news.
and his penis would not work, and it created a big stir. Then they thought he was lying, and then they looked at it, and then they said it's true.
This
and then
is Antigua
the evidence,
breaking
we
news.
exist in an evidence-based environment. And what we have at the
This
moment
is
is a
Antigua
center in
breaking
Italy,
news.
took 100 men, 25 that had COVID, 75 that did not, and
This is
compared.
Antigua
And they found that
breaking
those that
news.
did have COVID had a 6 times higher likelihood of having erectile dysfunction. So, from an evidence-based point of view, it's just 100 men. It's a small study. It was a questionnaire,
Antigua
and
breaking
that is the
news.
largest evidence that we have. No. To have an erection, you have to look at a number of things. You need to have, one, the desire. You need to have,
This is
you need
Antigua
to
breaking
be
news.
interested in having sex, and then your waterworks needs to be able to function. Now, if you had COVID and you haven't been working and you're stressed out, is sex the first thing on your mind?
This is
You've been in
Antigua
hospital
breaking
for a
news.
while, and bills are backing up, and you've lost weight, you've been on a ventilator. Is sex the first thing on your mind? Maybe not. No. What we do know as well from
This
on
is
the
Antigua
molecular
breaking
level,
news.
COVID is a vascular disease. The COVID virus creates a lot of inflammation, particularly
This
in the
is
lungs,
Antigua
and that's why
breaking
we have the
news.
breathing problems. But as more information is gathered, we're finding that the COVID virus affects the brain, the kidneys, the penis, the testicles,
This
and
is
so on.
Antigua
And if it
breaking
damages the
news.
blood vessels to the lungs to make you have difficulty breathing, the same thing will happen in the penis, because the penis needs good blood flow for erection.
This is Antigua breaking news. This is Antigua breaking news.